What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, and video games, and comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'd like to give you my review on the Disney movie Mulan. This is the live-action Mulan, the one that just came out this year. And what a journey it was to get to this movie. It was supposed to come out all the way back in March, if you'll recall. And then I believe that it dropped in September on the Disney Plus pay-per-view, which ended up being horribly unpopular. And at one point, I almost rented it. Right after it came out, I almost rented it. And then I thought to myself, nah, I'm not going to do it on principle alone. Because I'm already a Disney Plus subscriber, and I did not like the fact that they were charging me $30 for a rental. If they were going to charge me $30, I would have done it if it came with a digital code for a digital copy. But it didn't. It didn't. It just came with the rental. So I didn't do it, just on principle alone. But that being said, I did watch it. It just came out on December 4th to everybody else on Disney Plus, and I finally took the time to watch it, and it was pretty entertaining. I gotta say that it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. I did not expect it to be the cartoon version with the singing and the dragon and all that. I didn't expect it to be that. I honestly kind of expected it to go kind of ultra realistic. Like, this is how this story really could have happened. And they didn't do that either. They kind of found a nice space in between where there's definitely some supernatural elements. There was definitely some magic going on. But they tried to keep it as grounded as possible, given the content, given the story they were telling. They really tried to keep it as grounded as possible, and that definitely made you feel a little bit more, it made you root a little bit more for the Mulan character. Mulan was played by Yifi Liu. I'm probably butchering that. Yifi Liu, and she did a wonderful job. I really enjoyed watching this actress portray this character. And, one of the good things about this movie is that I think we're going to see a lot more of these actors and actresses, these international actors and actresses, get some more Hollywood level roles. I had this discussion recently with somebody when I got done watching Iron Mask. Recently, I watched Iron Mask, the new one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan, even though they're not in it that much. And there were a lot of wonderful Asian actresses and actors in that movie. Mostly the actresses, to be honest. I found the actresses in that movie to be far more strong than the actors. And that's really the case here in Mulan as well. I really found that the actresses really stood out more than the actors. Now, in something like Mulan, that might even make sense. All right, this is a female empowerment movie. So they really wanted to put that focus on the female characters, especially Mulan. But that's not to say there isn't some very strong men in this movie. There are some strong men in her battalion who had very strong supporting roles and did a great job. But you also had Donnie Yen in this movie, who played her field commander, and I loved every second he was on screen. He just has a certain screen presence about him that he just commands your attention. Very good job by Donnie Yen in this, even though it was more of a supporting role. It was very good. And then Jet Li played the Emperor, and I didn't even recognize him, to be honest with you. I didn't even recognize him. Now that I'm looking back, I'm like, yeah, that was Jet Li. But I was not seeing Jet Li when I was watching this. I was seeing the Emperor. This movie has a lot of great action. It's very thrilling at times. And it's got a very solid message about being who you're supposed to be. Not who everybody wants you to be, but who you're supposed to be. And that was all great. I did feel at times that Mulan was a bit of a Mary Sue. Even though she did make some mistakes in this movie, everything that she did turned out for the better. Every action that she took, every decision that she made, even if it was a mistake in the moment, it all turned out for the best. So I just felt like there was a little bit of Mary Sue-ness going on with Mulan in this movie. There was some hyper realism that was going on in this movie as well. You had a lot of soldiers running on walls. There was a point where Mulan was on horseback, and from a sitting position, she does a backflip, kicks a spear that's in the air, and then she comes back and lands down on the horse. There was a lot of stuff like that in the movie where I was like, all right, do they want this to be grounded or not? Because I'm not buying any of this. And that kind of took me out of the movie at points when the movie has a grounded feel to it, and everything that's happening around it feels very authentic, feels very grounded, feels very set in the real world. And then they do the hyper realistic stuff. I can even forgive some of the supernatural stuff. I can even forgive some of that, like the witch and all that. I can even forgive some of that. But when they do the hyper realistic stuff, when you have regular people running on walls and running up walls, and regular people catching arrows that's shot at them, when you got this stuff going on, it just kind of takes me out of it. I'm like, no, no. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie. It was not a perfect movie. Tonally, it felt inconsistent at times, but it was, like I said, it was very thrilling. A lot of really good action, very surprisingly violent for a Disney live action film, and a lot of it did feel very authentic to Chinese culture. As somebody who is not a student of Chinese culture, I don't know if that's accurate or not for me to say that, but it felt very authentic to Chinese culture. Whether it was authentic or not, I'm not really sure, but it felt that way. So yeah, very entertaining movie. Had a very good time watching it, and I will watch it again. And maybe next time, now that I know what to expect, maybe the tonal shifts won't bother me as much. But there is just some stuff that happened that really took me out of it, because it was like, do you want to be a cartoon, or do you want to be something else? And sometimes I wasn't sure if they knew what they wanted to be. But had a good time. I had a good time with this. I give Mulan a B+. I give it a B+. It was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm honestly glad I didn't spend $30 to rent it. But it was a good time. It was a good time, and it was a well-made film. So that's my take on Mulan. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to have conversations with people about movies, so if you leave a comment, I will answer it, and we will have a conversation. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me here at the OK Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.